Hey y'all, welcome to AllieCat Customs. Today I had a little bit of a situation come up while I was trying to narrow an axle. So y'all get to enjoy watching me be a machinist for a day and all of the tomfoolery that comes with that. So y'all stick around. All right, y'all, so I'm narrowing a rear axle on a pickup truck, and that requires the use of an alignment tool so you can make sure that the axle ends are correctly lined up with everything, so you don't have any issues and stuff with, wobbling axle shafts and bad bearings and stuff that don't run true. So I picked up a Mittler Bros rear axle alignment tool, and it comes with a 72-inch long bar and a whole box full of adapters to go for all kinds of different kinds of axles, but apparently except for the axle that I'm actually currently working on. So you have pieces, machine pieces, and like this one is this works for a GM with a 2.250 8.8 Ford car, and then the flip side would work for a Ford 8.8 truck. So they have a bunch of different things, but I have the carrier portion, but for the axle ends, I don't. I need a piece that will fit into here that the shaft will slide through, so I can slide this whole unit together onto the axle and line it up. But this is 2.890, and this is 2.79 for the wheel bearing for a Chevrolet truck. And apparently Mittler Brothers don't even have this that part available to order. So what I'm going to end up having to do is I'm going to have to machine the OD of this from a 2.89 to a 2.79 and see if I can make it work. I got a manual lathe back here, and I am absolutely not a machinist, but my dad, however, has about 45 years of machinist experience, and I've played around enough with him and I've learned some things, and the most important thing is I'm thankful that I can work with him, and the things that I don't know, he knows. So I knew kind of what I needed to do, but I called him up just a little bit ago and got a good game plan on how we're going to make this work. So I'm about to dive in and see if I can play some machinist and keep this axle build going. All right, y'all, so on this manual mill, I do not have a 3-jaw chuck that's small enough on the ID to actually accept this for the inside so that I can shave the outside of this off. So what I'm going to end up having to do is I talk to my dad, and I have some stock that we have laying around. So I'm actually going to shave this down to where I can make it a press fit, just about a press fit, tight enough that I can push this part onto this steel. And then when I get this lined up, everything, and get it where I can tap it on tight enough that when I run the machine, this doesn't try to move, then I can shave the outside of this down, and then I'll be able to use it, because the ID of this is correct for the shaft, but the OD is too large to use in my bearings. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do some work on this. I'm going to shave this down low enough to where when I get this part here shaved down, a small enough cut down to the ID of this, and press it on, I need to be able to tap it back off. So I'm going to take and cut down a portion of this so I can get behind it with a puller or something like that. And so I shave this down, then I can press this on and get to cutting. So being that this is scrap metal right here, Dad told me don't try to mess up too much of it, because if I don't get the job done, he gets to come and try to rescue me. So see how good of a job I can get done. So let's get started. So the first step is to cut the relief cut behind where the spacer will sit. Since this isn't a critical measurement, I figured I'd start here and get some practice in, which was good because I couldn't get the auto feed to function on the lathe. Already starting off strong. And now for the first critical cut. This part of the stock was cut lopsided and crooked, so cutting it straight was pretty interesting to watch happen. Once I got it close, I used a file and some sandpaper to smooth it up. This doesn't seem like it's OSHA approved, so definitely don't try this at home. I thought I was going to get away with tapping the spacer into place, but quickly realized it wouldn't work, so I used a press to press it into place. All right, so I got the alignment puck pressed onto the tool I made and got it indicated in, and I have just less than a 1 thou run out on both axes. So about to fire the lathe up and get it shaved down. That is 2.89 outside diameter, and I need it to be 2.79 to fit in the bearing pocket of the end of the axle. So let's get after it. Hoo-wee! Man, that spacer was pretty hard. Them chips flying off was angry. Ta-da! I did something. Sandpaper and a file on that, and it's still ugly. But it's got just a hair, bit of slack, spins. So fits about as tight as the rest of them. The rest of the pucks do in their spots. So say that's a success. One side down. One more to go. I marked where the stock was in the 3-jaw to help me index it back in later. That press made short work of swapping the spacers, and I was back to the machine. I first checked how the piece would spin visually, and then I got the dial indicator and got it running true in both axes. And again, I gently cut the spacer, trying to sneak up on the size. I definitely didn't need an uh-oh. What do we have here? Looks like 2 axle ends on the axle, sort of. So, this is how it's supposed to work. You have pucks that goes into the differential carrier caps. A long 72-inch rod that goes through. And then you have, ta-da, these pucks here. And of course I had to machine them down from a 2.89 to a 2.79 to fit this truck. So what you do is you go, slide that up, get it all the way on there. course, with one hand, it's hard to do, but you get the idea. That seat's home into the bearing. This lines up after I get all this stuff done up, and bevel the edges here, and then I can weld that on both sides, and bam, we'd have an axle again. All right, y'all, so I got both of these alignment pucks machined down to the right diameter, and they fit in these axle ends nice and snug, and give a good ability to do their job, which is to align these axle ends for what I'm doing. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. And as always, I'm thankful for having my dad and his 40 plus years of machining knowledge and stuff behind him to know how to run stuff like this. And it reminds me every time I need to machine parts and I come and play with these old manual mills and stuff, just why I like to let machinists do their thing, because man, the amount of precision and the amount of knowledge and stuff that comes with machining, that kind of job is such a precise job. Those guys work a lifetime to hone that skill, and it's something that I'm slowly getting into and learning, more about doing machine type work, because in the custom fabrication world, you got to be able to do that kind of stuff. So I guess the lesson I have on this video is, you can't build your hot rods sitting on the couch, and building hot rods is just solving the next problem. So every time you got a problem, you got to solve it. And if you solve enough problems, you end up with a hot rod at the end. So always be willing to ask questions, always be willing to learn. And when you get a roadblock, back up, look around, and see there's always a way to figure something out. So just that's all I can say about that. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And I'm about to get all of my mess cleaned back up and get started on narrowing the rear axle, which was the video that I was originally gonna film. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like and leave a comment and share this video, and also subscribe so you can actually see what these alignment pokes are supposed to do. And that way you'll be able to find that right here at AllieCat Customs.